Helen Benson likes helping people. As chief executive of the Gamekeepers Welfare Trust, that's all she does. Here she's raising money for the hospital in Middlesbrough where her husband was treated after a heart attack on the moors. He was saved by a gamekeeper.
Just on the next door estate, collapsed. Was saved by somebody who had done first aid, did CPR on him, and he had a triple bypass. So this is just to raise funds and awareness to the hospital and the heart ward where he was.
Managing the helpline at the Trust, Helen deals with people with problems every day. It's some of the stories they don't tell that disturb her the most.
The situation with the firearms, it's so misunderstood from the general public that it's a tool that the gamekeepers use for their work. But it is increasingly difficult because the doctors have to sign off for the certificates. And so gamekeepers are increasingly wary of approaching a doctor for whatever it is that is wrong with them, whether it's mental health or whether it's physical health even. And certainly I went to the funeral of one gamekeeper last year who died because he didn't go to the doctor soon enough, and it was an issue that could have been controlled. It was prostate cancer, but he didn't go to the doctor because he was frightened of having his guns taken away. And if you have your guns taken away, you lose your job and your home.
It's not just gamekeepers. Pest controller Tim Newcomb, seen here launching a boat, was denied a firearms certificate for rifles and a shotgun certificate 5 years ago. He says he gave police a letter from a doctor who did not object to him shooting, but said he was prone to anxiety and taking medicine for it.
I had 3 farmers, and they're all perfect. I even have a school field where I shoot as well. My friend, though, he got his straight away. He had his within a month. 12 months later, I was still fighting mine. And it just kept getting passed on through different departments, and in the end, it was, no, you're a danger to public health and safety. So, thanks, mate. Nice one.
Tim feels the police firearms officer judged him before she met him. He says she then told one of his farmer clients that he is mental and asked whether they wanted someone like that running around their land with a gun.
I can understand they've got to do a job, but a police officer is not trained to judge you on your mental health.
West Yorkshire Police took the guns from Barry Swain, a Leeds pest controller we have featured before. Animal rights extremists campaigning to stop him shooting accused him of mental problems and selling the goose meat to Chinese restaurants without presenting any evidence. The person in charge of the case at WIP believed the claims and made others, seemingly siding with the extremists to stop Barry.
I've had my licence taken off me for doing pest control, basically. So, who's wrong here? The government gave me the licence through the police to do pest control, and the police are stopping me from doing pest control that's fully legal and lawful. And they've also took my guns off me because I was doing pest control and I refused to stop doing pest control.
Barry's story began earlier this year with his arrest and detention after aunties complained about him shooting Canada geese that are polluting a farm, ruining land meant for grazing cattle.
The police don't understand the issues that the farmer has and people like myself have. They tend to think that it's just for fun when they refuse to remove the protesters and refuse to stop them and refuse to prevent them doing what they're doing under law. As the law is Section 68, Part 1, Part 1B, Part 1C. They're not allowed to stop us from doing pest control. It's an illegal act to stop us. But the police don't see this. They don't recognise it, and they refuse to support it.
Police now admit arresting Barry was wrong. Following that decision, the sergeant in charge of Barry's case told Fieldsports News to stop asking questions. WIP is still pushing a complaint against Barry that is hundreds of pages long. As a dyslexic, a complaint that long is daunting for Barry.
So if the police and the protesters win in taking my guns off me for doing pest control, where do we stand? If my guns are removed from me for doing something that I was given a licence to do the job in the first place, who's next? You know what I mean? A processor will ring up and say, you're out there shooting pigeons in a field. I don't like this. West Yorkshire Police has set a precedent. They will send an officer down and take your guns off you because we don't like you shooting pigeons in the field. What are we supposed to do?
Tim's case is looking brighter after he complained to police in Exeter, who said they were shocked to hear how he'd been treated. Soon after, police phoned him and advised him to reapply for his licences. Basque has a scheme to help shooters who are having trouble finding doctors so they can get licences. You can find out more in the link below.